Hi, this is Emily Matthews with Remax Universal, and today we're going to explore the concept of resizing and what exactly that means. So, I believe the definition of resizing your life includes the following concepts: minimizing, modification, and making a move. This is the definition I made up. It's taking action that effects a change in one's living situation. Before we get to resizing, a little ad here for estate planning. If you don't have any estate planning in place, you need to talk to a lawyer as soon as possible because this will help your family for sure, and it makes it easier for your next steps. Getting into minimizing, even if you're not planning to move, you do need to minimize if you've been in your place for any length of time, because we all accumulate a lot of things. That picture there kind of looks like my house, unfortunately. People could have collections other than books. It could be antiques, bottles, toys, anything. You need to decide what's going to happen to those collections, especially if they're really big. Do your kids even want them? Are they worth money? You need to find this stuff out now so that your kids aren't left with a big collection and nobody knows what to do. You can help them by deciding this. The logistics of minimizing is, of course, talk to your family. You can give things to them or designate in estate planning documents. You can start reducing in terms of the things they don't want. You can sell things online. Sometimes dealers will buy collections. You could have an estate sale, but they might ask you to move out temporarily. If nobody really wants some of the things you have, you can certainly donate them, and you might have to sneak them out past your spouse who wants to keep everything. Fairsplit.com is a resource for people trying to decide how to split things up. This is what we don't want to leave to our kids. Minimizing has a special situation in terms of rental properties, or even properties that you yourself inherited and now you've got to deal with them. If there's deferred maintenance, you probably want to sell them as fast as you can before they deteriorate further, or fix them. Find out if your family wants these rentals. Maybe they don't, and it would be good to get rid of them before so they don't have to deal with it. You want to involve a lawyer, and if there's any kind of question about taxes, talk to your CPA. Figure out how you can avoid having to pay a lot in tax. There are some strategies, for example, a land contract or a private mortgage that you get a lawyer to write up, or the concept of a master lease. These are all things you can talk about with a lawyer. The benefits of minimizing is that you can give things now. You don't have to wait until later. It might make your living situation safer if you end up with, say, 11 couches. Start getting rid of some of them now because it could be a trip hazard. You might be able to sell items and get money to then pay for repairs, because if your house does deteriorate, that can lead to health risks for you. And for sure, minimizing now reduces stress later on if you decide that you are going to make a move. Modification is the concept of changing your living space to meet your evolving needs. For example, you could convert rooms. The pros of this are you can use them as you want. It can make your life easier. This is a picture of a bedroom that had a washer and dryer put up in there so people don't have to deal with stairs. But it might not work as well as you want it to, and it can make selling the house a lot more difficult. Most people would prefer an extra bedroom rather than a first floor laundry. You can install devices or make changes to devices that you already have. Here are some examples of things that you can get installed. And here are examples of the costs. This is according to the Senior Real Estate Specialist newsletter, and in there they quoted bank rate and retirement living for costs. Finally, we get to making a move. The benefit of this is that you get to decide now where you want to live, rather than waiting until you have no choice left. All it takes is a bad fall, a car crash, a sudden medical event, and your whole health future looks different. It is much easier to adapt earlier on if you have a medical condition. I'll use my dad as an example. After my mother died, he moved from where they had been to an apartment and experienced a lot of falls and deteriorating health. He then decided to go to assisted living. In hindsight, I believe he would have preferred to go straight to assisted living rather than having to go through the stress of moving twice. He kind of said that, but hindsight is 20/20. Your house, if you move, might be worth more than you think. It could be worth less. If there's any kind of deferred maintenance, selling before the deterioration gets worse means a better sale price. For example, if your roof is old, but it's not at the critical point yet, you might consider selling that rather than waiting until you can't sell because an insurance company is going to say they won't insure a house with really bad shingles. When the insurance company refuses to insure the house, the buyer can't get the mortgage, no sale. This is a real thing. I've seen it in real life. Anything that you're putting off is deferred maintenance. Too much deferred maintenance means that buyers will not like the house and you will take a very big hit in the price. Finally, making a move could be cheaper than retrofitting a house, but again, this is a final decision that you yourself have to make. Places to move. There are apartments. Some are senior apartments only. Some are low income. You can rent a condo. If you're anywhere near Elkhart Lake, you know about Cedar Landing. You can buy a condo. Mapledale is one example, but there are other condos around. Sometimes people, all they need is to move from a 2-story to a ranch. This could be a permanent or a short-term solution. Consider your health future when you're considering this option. There is also something called RCAC, and that is like senior apartments, but they have staff on hand so that if you have problems, you can call them and they will come and help you. And finally, there is assisted living, that is CBRF. That is where my dad opted to go. If you are making a move, please don't trust Zillow. I watch what they do, and I take before and after pictures of what they're saying a house is worth before and after listing, and it changes. They usually overestimate, but sometimes they underestimate what a house is worth. Here's some examples. Prior to listing, the Zestimate was $297,000, but the property actually sold at $200,000, and I personally was shocked that it sold for that much because it was in very tough shape. Another one, prior to listing, it was Zestimated to be $270,000, and it sold for $300,000. Final example, prior to listing, it was Zestimated to be $330,000, then it was listed for $350,000, and they adjusted the price up to $356,000, but it actually sold for $310,000. Ask yourself the question, is a bank appraiser going to use a Zestimate? Hard no, they never will. So please don't trust them. And here's a kind of a cartoon illustrating this. What you can expect from me when I list your house is a multiple point comparative market analysis of sold properties without cherry picking. Then another data set on your competition, that's current listings, so you can determine your next best steps. All I ask is that when you do decide to sell your home, call and give me a chance to interview for a job, because the best way for me to demonstrate how I can help is actually to help you.
And that's it for now. This is Emily Matthews here to help you with all your real estate needs. Don't forget to subscribe. It's the little icon with my head on it. Have a wonderful day.